Bitcoin shortly fell below $90,000 as the whole market is anxious about the upcoming November job report, but also the Nvidia quarterly earnings. We truly have a crucial week ahead of us. So guys, I would say make sure you're strapped in and let's find out. This video is sponsored by Obsidian Swap and their new buyback and burn program for the Obsidian token. Today is a bit of a strange day because the internet looks completely cooked with all these errors left and right thanks to Cloudflare having issues today. So maybe you're also having issues with work today. We got you covered though because the blockchain never stops working. The only thing you can see down below, no prices today, but I will get you covered with some TA anyway. So what we have is first and foremost the S&P 500, because the second I uploaded yesterday's video, the S&P 500 started dumping a bit more because the market seems anxious for what's about to come. We talked about the AI bubble already, but what we have tomorrow is actually the financial results of Nvidia, and people are truly anxious about what's about to come here. What are the forecast likes, and will the expectations be met regarding their earnings? If Nvidia can actually surprise with some good results, well, in that case, ladies and gentlemen, we might actually see continuation of the stock market rally once more, because overall it is still in a decent uptrend. And some people might say, well, we're down now about 1 or 2%, but this is truly what more or less is like bear market in stocks when the stock market goes down about minus 20%. But you can see even those we can recover from in the stock market. What is also interesting is that on the 20th of November, we'll have the September job report. So guys, of course, those were delayed due to the government being shut down, but we'll still get the numbers. And this is going to be quite interesting because one of the reasons that we are so risk off now were the words by Jerome Powell saying that he didn't know what to expect truly for the next Fed meeting happening on December 10th. So are we going to get a rate cut or are we not going to get a rate cut? And the whole market is looking for liquidity, and without that rate cut, it's looking quite tough for more risky assets like the stock market now with AI, but also crypto. So that's, I think, pretty much the reason why stocks are cooling down a bit more, and especially also why crypto is having a rough time. You can see here that yesterday, with this big wick, or even today, Bitcoin went below 89K even over here very shortly, but it went down very hard. And that was the first time, I think, in 7 months that Bitcoin went below $90,000. So truly, that's a bit scary, especially if you take a look at the speed at which is happening, because only a few days ago when I went to Amsterdam for Bitcoin Amsterdam, we're trading at about 106. So we fell down about $20,000 in only a few days, guys. So it's going quite harsh now, and it's something most are not prepared for, including myself. So this is honestly quite scary. But the question now is, are we going to hold on to this green box? You can see it yesterday. We closed nicely within the green box. So that's, I think, a good daily close. But at some point, we do need to start to recover if you want to see the continuation of this bull market. So I do hope that in the upcoming next hours, we actually get some strength for Bitcoin, that we can actually at least come back to that $20,000 or that $92,000 level. And hopefully we'll also get some good earnings reports by Nvidia that can also propel the Bitcoin price forward, because that's what we need, guys. It's going to be a crucial week. That's also why you need to strap in. Make sure you hit the like button and also strap in for more of these videos that will be released later this week, because we need a bounce. And I think the best catalyst now would be or Nvidia showing good results, or the job market completely imploding, because that might sound bad, but if the job market is worse than expected, well, it's more likely that the Fed will intervene. We will see some more rate cuts, but also potentially more indications of the quantitative easing. So basically more money printing. And that's really, guys, what we are waiting for. Anyways, we also need to talk about the CRO chart. And besides CRO, I also found some very interesting notes regarding the death cross. But let's talk about those two things after a quick word of today's sponsor. Obsidian swap is one of the best places to make trades on the Cronos chain. And with every trade you make, you do pay a small fee as well to support the protocol. But did you also know they have their own buyback and burn program? You can see here that 50% of all swap fees are used to buy back the Obsidian token, supporting protocol rewards and also token burn. So you can see that with every swap, they're buying back more and more of these Obsidian tokens and also burning them, which is also good for the ops price. Check it out for yourself in the link in the description down below. Anyways, let's talk a bit more about the crypto charts of, for example, CRO. But first, again, a little bit more about Bitcoin, because we talked about this death cross being printed here. And again, the death cross is a cross of the 50-day below the 200-day. And in my previous video, I talked that sometimes they are the bottom here. So you can see that the last time we had a death cross, the bottom occurred only a few days after the death cross. So 1, 2, 3 days later, we had the bottom. So where are we now? Well, guys, funnily enough, it has been also about 3 days since the death cross. So maybe potentially that means that about 89k is the new bottom. That also happened the previous time we had a death cross. So here, death cross, bottom was in. Let's go up once more. We also have a bit more data here by Subo Trade, and he collected all the death crosses. And I love statistics like this because this gives you the best picture. But what this tells us is that we see a lot of green and also a lot of red. So there is no certain outcome after a death cross. However, on average, you can see it is positive in the majority of cases. You can see the first week might not be that positive, but the second week is typically positive. Also, the first month, the second month, the third month. And you can see that on average, a year after the death cross, Bitcoin price is up about 85%. So honestly, guys, based on statistics, don't be too scared about that death cross. But also, one more counter argument here is that in 2022, when we had a death cross over here, it was also the beginning of the end. Well, not necessarily. You can see that after the death cross, we also basically created a bottom here, and then we started moving up again. So sometimes it's actually a local bottom, but then it doesn't mean that the bear market rally is over. So you can see here, short rally, and then we continue the downward move. So maybe something like that is also going to play out, guys. I don't know. I truly don't know. So what can happen? Happened in the past again. So we have a rally back up again, and we test here the 200-day, and then we might get a rejection. That is if we have a bear market. If we have a bull market, of course, we're going to cross it once more. And then we might even get another golden cross like what we have had here. This was a golden cross, and after the golden cross, we continued to a new all-time high. So far, guys, for Bitcoin. Then a bit more about CRO, because CRO is holding on quite well to very important levels here. We talked about the bottom range here of the rainbow chart, and this is so interesting. So we're holding nicely here to the bottom at about 10.3. This has been my range where I become bullish again. So I talked about this, right? I believe we are creating these waves, and after the third wave, we can get into the fourth wave if we continue the bull market. So that's, of course, a big if. We have seen that basically throughout 2023, 2024, and so far also 2025, we are basically holding on to this rainbow chart low, with one exception being here 3 weeks below it. But that was really a bit more of a small time black swan. You can also see on the stock market that truly brought the stock market back down. But in the end, guys, we continued the rally. So I do not really agree with this breaking the rainbow chart, and I do believe that the rainbow chart stays relevant, and therefore we might have a bounce here on the green zone. But let's see, of course, guys. My crystal ball isn't actually made from crystal. It's actually made from plastic here, and it has the big 8 on it. So it does help me with predictions, but of course also the track record of the 8-ball isn't necessarily the best. So no financial advice, always do your own research. With that in mind, this will truly become a crazy, crazy week. After those earning reports or job numbers, the chart might simply go plus 10% in a matter of only minutes, guys. So make sure you're strapped in and you also hit that like button. And if you want to learn more, for example, about what's happening in the markets, I also made this live stream, and then again on Sunday we'll have the similar live stream. We call it the weekly close. So check it out if you haven't done so.